Hello and welcome to the first game of day 12 for StarLadder Star Series Season 8. And we are going to watch RoX.KIS. We're going to see 2 games of them in the first 2 games of today. The first is up against the Retry. After this they'll be facing Alliance. So that's 2 very different caliber opponents. Though we watched the Retry yesterday and they were not an easy one to take. So we'll see how they do up against RoX.KIS here. How Godlike drafts up against BGG. And of course, I'm not by myself. I am joined by Mod. Once again, welcome back.
Hello, thanks for having me. Of course, it's nice to be here early on in the morning for us Americans. But we do have RoX.KIS versus the Retry. You mentioned how well Retry played yesterday. Of course, they had a game against Navi, and they had another one that they did very well in. I'm forgetting the team that they played for the first one, but they did very well. They had early game drafting strategies revolving around pushing heroes like Leshrac, like the Pugna, like the Alchemist as well, which PGG does pick up for himself again. Usually that support Alchemist is what he played in the last time. You can see they ban out the Pugna. They don't want to deal with it this time around, but they could still go for something like that Leshrac. They also picked a Tuskar, which is very interesting to see. And they did very well with it as well, but RoX.KIS go for 2 extraordinarily strong heroes in Elder Titan and Abaddon, so already some good drafting coming out from both sides.
I have to say, I'm kind of hoping that there's going to be another Tusk, because, you know, that was just funny. That was just a good watch. It might be a bit unorthodox, and maybe it was that one-time pocket strat pick that works one time and never again. But I think that they're going to be happy with the Alchemist. But yes, as you mentioned, I mean, Elder Titan, they give that one away willingly. They ban out the Pugna and the Nature's Prophet. Apparently don't like those, well, Cedar's Nature's Prophet, actually, that's worth banning out. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Elder Titan, I think that's the biggest menace here. The Godlike picking up an Abaddon, not that big of a surprise. I don't think that he should have picked it up in the second pick, or as in, who am I to tell Godlike what to pick, right? But I mean, I don't think that he would be a hero that the Retry would ban out in the second banning phase. But yeah, strong hero nonetheless.
It is, and it's strange to see him picked up in the second pick phase because, like, we used to think of him as like first pick, first ban material over the past couple of months, and then all of a sudden he starts getting phased out of competitive play. That's because he doesn't necessarily work as well unless he's got like a Weaver to work around, but he's still an extraordinarily strong hero. On the other side, same with the Outworld Devourer. It's a hero that should be picked first or banned first. Yeah. More than likely. Instead, of course, it does get picked up second for the Retry, and if you go mid with that, obviously you will, it's going to have a good time against any hero it really faces. They've already banned out the Razor, and that was RoX.KIS banning out the Razor, so they banned out pretty much like 2 counters already to the Outworld Devourer, and I think that's why Retry picked up the Outworld Devourer, because they saw what RoX.KIS were doing with their bans, and they said, well, if you're going to give us that easy of a time, we'll just pick up the OD, not even a problem. So already very interesting draft coming out for the Retry.
Yeah, I think they're going to be indeed happy with the OD. Does mean that Alchemist indeed is going to be a carry or support. I was maybe hoping that perhaps there was a chance that Alchemist was going to be a solo mid, as we did see that on Tuesday, I believe, was a very scary sight. There's a lot of strong mids still in the pool, though, if that OD is indeed going to be mid. There's a lot of counters still in, including the Razor, which we haven't really seen that much of lately. But he is still in. I mean, we've seen Lone Druid against him. We've seen Viper, who is still in the pool as well, who the Retry actually banned out quite a few times yesterday. And, I mean, Lone Druid, Kunkka, all still in the pool. And the Retry, they actually ban out the Doom. So that's a hero they don't want to face because, of course, if you have Doom up, either Alchemist or OD, both will suffer greatly. They won't be able to do anything. And a Dazzle ban, that is 100% targeted purely for a Godlike draft. Don't want to deal with a Dazzle.
Yeah, that's actually kind of exciting to see Dazzle ban. I would rather, see it picked up, obviously, because that hero is just so fun to watch sometimes, but still a smart ban coming out from the Retry. There's not a whole lot of OD counters left in the pool, but you kind of just have to get lucky, I think, and have an okay time just with the laning phase and not get too far behind. You have to hope that you don't lose to him solely, even with any hero. And they could go for a Kunkka still. That's one of the few heroes left in the pool that does do an okay job against the OD. Anything else is really just intelligence-based. You can go for a semi-carry. If you go for something like a Shadow Fiend, though, you're never going to get any raises, which means you're not going to be able to push the wave out and get farm as quickly, but you can always get your Necromancer Sex by just last hitting, so I don't expect to see that. Whoa. They are going to go for StarLadder. I don't think that'll be mid, but this is an exciting pick just because of Slaughter's not been picked a whole lot recently. I mean, he's been picked a couple of times. His sprint was changed. His Slithering Crush is a nice stun. If he gets a Blink Dagger, he's got good initiation. Amplified damage allows for excellent Roche timings. You get like a 15-minute Roche with your team just from amplified damage alone because it provides so much extra damage. It's really nice to have for RoX.KIS here on the dire side. I do like this pickup just for that reason alone.
Yeah, their lineup is so scary right now. Also with the Night Stalker, this early to mid game from RoX, the Retry is gonna have to be very careful. It's gonna have to come with the 2 last picks that can totally counter the aggression coming up from RoX, because I mean they look pretty mean right now, to be honest. I mean, look at the heroes alone; they're all looking grumpy. I guess on the Retry they also look grumpy.
Yeah, that's Dota. Dota just like.
What?
Well, think of any hero portrait. Does any hero portrait smile?
Does
I don't
Crystal
think
Maiden
so.
not smile?
She like smirks a little, I guess. I guess you're right.
Oh.
Maybe Luna too.
Yeah,
something about them.
Those female characters. Hey, and TA might smile, but we don't know because their mouth.
Yeah, we have no idea about her.
No, but that actually brings me to the next point, because one of the things that has been a bit of a trend in the last couple of games or last weeks that we've seen, and is kind of missing here, because normally we see supports picked up very early on, and even though we have an Abaddon picked up, which we're going to assume is a support, and the Visage as well, both the Crystal Maiden and the Venomancer ignored.
5 seconds remaining.
They're not here yet.
Yeah, that's wow, actually. And they don't go for another, like, well, I guess support Alchemist. I'm pretty sure, like, that's what PGG wants to go, and that's why they're not picking up the CM. But on the other side, RoX.KIS should definitely be going for that. You're right, that is kind of strange. Those are 2 of the best heroes in the pool, just completely and utterly ignored for whatever reason I'm not sure of. But either way, it doesn't matter, as they're comfortable with the supports they have. They're comfortable with the heroes they have, clearly. RoX.KIS, I do like their draft. I like the fact that they picked the Night Stalker, actually, early on here. Same with the Slaughter, like I mentioned. They've got a really roaming gank-heavy lineup that can do a lot of damage, especially during nighttime. But on the Retry side, they've got an aggressive lineup all of their own. Gyrocopter is one of the things that I'm not too excited about, because they have this early-game fighting team, and Gyrocopter sort of fits into that mold, but he also needs to get a bit of farm to be super effective later on once the cooldown stops doing all of the damage for him. So they only have 8 seconds left and 1 extra second of reserve time. They will ban out the Crystal Maiden, like we were talking about, unsurprisingly. Darkseer gets banned, and I've not seen that guy played in forever, surprisingly enough. I don't remember when he was picked like every game, so rest in peace, Darkseer, I guess.
Yeah, I remember him being played, I think, this weekend, but I was casting with Vikrmont at the time, and he only got flamed by Vikrmont. He was not impressed with the hero, and I think a lot of teams are agreeing with him about that, because yeah, he has been kind of ignored lately. We'll see. We'll see what the Retry goes for. Like, the one thing that is eminent coming off from the RoX.KIS lineup is that every single hero of them is melee. So if you have got the slow of the Visage, that could actually be a brilliant thing for them. They have a ranged OD, they have a ranged Gyrocopter, they can kite them around. I would like to see more slows coming off from them, but considering they only have 1 more lane to pick, which is most likely going to be an off lane, I doubt that's going to be the case.
Radiant team.
Maybe a Clockwork Warrior ban out, because that's why we see Clockwork ban out, because that would be a very big menace for RoX.KIS. But which other hero is still in the pool that can slow people down, is an offlaner? Or
Windrunner.
Position. Windrunner, yeah.
Or Wind Ranger, excuse me.
That's actually a pretty decent one, because of course the Windrun works against every single one of these. You'll still get voided though.
Shackle Shot would work as well.
Yes.
There's a couple other heroes that'd be tough to chase down. Bounty Hunter, if he throws track up, would be annoying. Or the Tuskar, I guess, so we have it again.
Yeah.
So I guess the Retry, it's not a pocket strategy, it's here they do actually like playing.
Yeah.
They like throwing it in their lineup, and they had success with it last time, so why not try it again? And you made a very good point about RoX.KIS. They are like 90% melee, 1%, like 10% Chen, not melee. And to be fair, they do have the Elder Titan, which does give them some sort of range damage. Same with like Mistcoil, but that doesn't really matter. Like, because Elder Titan's major damage comes from him punching people in the face, and he's not going to be able to do that if he's getting kited. and it's going to be tough. So I think RoX.KIS kind of drafted themselves into a corner. The retry, they go for a similar draft to what we saw yesterday, plus they have the Outworld Devour, which is always a good sign. And on top of that, they have early game fighting potential with the Gyrocopter's call down. So I'm excited to see what they can do with this lineup and how much damage they can get on early here. At the same time, we'll see if RoX.KIS can handle the pressure here in the first game of the day on StarLadder.
Can we say that if the retry wins with Tusk, that they have invented Tusk in the competitive game?
It's new meta.
New meta?
Official new meta.
Yeah?
Yes.
Cool. And then for Tusk's sakes, I hope that's the case. And you know what I forgot yesterday? Because I actually... have you watched the Dota 2 Reporter Man? As we see a retry rotating into the jungle of the enemies?
I've watched like an episode or two of it, but like I don't like go out of my way to watch it whenever a new one comes out.
Did you see the Tusk episode?
Probably not, no.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. I'm not very cultured when it comes to watching Dota videos, sadly. I only watch the funny ones where it's like the MLG, 420, all the color ones.
The Tusk video is a funny one, it's for sure. But I can do that voice. But if you don't know it, then you know it's not good, because then you're thinking like, wow, this person just went full retard. Oh, go black! Sun being charged up, PGG. He's gonna hit it on the shield, and he waited for that shield to be up there before it goes, and that's gonna be your first blood. One more hit, boom! Nubik takes it with the haste rune, gets himself out in a Jeffy. Let's see who's playing what. The retry will be on the Radiant side. PGG taking on the support Alchemist Nubik on the Gyrocopter, who will be taking on the farming role as he, well, is gonna counterward. That's what he's gonna do. Eid will be the Visage. There are 3 people counterwarding right now, just want to point that out. Eid will take on the support Visage. In the mid lane, it will be Hart playing his Tusk, as we saw that yesterday as well, up against Scandal. And then on the safe lane, it will be No Fear on the OD, the Outworld Devourer.
Yeah, and on the side of RoX.KIS, we've got Sidoi down in that same lane on the Elder Titan, heading up to mid. You can see Scandal will be on the Night Stalker. Roaming down to place another ward, it looks like, is going to be Yol on the Chen. Up in the top lane in the jungle, you can see Go Black will be on the Abaddon. And to round it all out, we of course have BZZ is perfect on that slaughter up in the top lane. So already they get... Yeah, it really is. Yeah. Wait. Yeah, that is nifty. I didn't even notice that was a thing. Alright, well that's cool. Yeah. Nice. But looking at the lanes right now, they send Hart mid, which means they're going to be going Hart versus Scandal. They actually safe lane the OD up against the Elder Titan, and that's fine. That's actually a better matchup for the OD. If he can get rid of all of the mana of Elder Titan, he won't be able to cast that Astral Spirit. So up top lane, though, the aggressive try versus the duel/try coming out, Yol's going to get initiated on, but they can't really kill him. You can see the Chen creep already being kind of annoying, and they're trying to fight this. Yeah,
and I think that Eid is going to get blocked here. If Yol makes a big play here with the block, then I think Eid is dead. Their haste is already on for BZ. He has got the crush skill as well. I don't think that Visage is gonna get out of this one alive. I mean, PGG cannot help. His stun is on cooldown. Gyrocopter's not gonna let his farm go. We have got a disconnect for Scandal. That's why we have the pause coming out.
With this, yeah, they should get the kill here. I mean, he already used his Grave Chill, so that's gonna be a the buff is going to go away in a couple of seconds here. Go Black will have a Photic Shield, if that'll break necessarily. There's no... the only thing they have is the Crush, though, so they don't have any of the real slows or disables. You can see they are blocking. You were right. Yol is doing it. Wow, what a block.
Good luck with that. He places a ward at least before he dies, but die he shall. He knows, by the way, that there's no Sentry Ward anymore, because the Sentry Ward, both of the Sentry Wards of RoX.KIS were used to keep Scandal, you know, in the clear, no vision there for the retry. And actually, we might see them trying to take down Nubik. Does he have a teleport? Yes, he does. He's going to teleport to the tier 2. He will be able to get out before anybody can crush him. It was close, though.
It was almost bad.
Yeah. This is an aggressive tri lane up against a dual lane, safe dual lane, with the Chen, of course, coming in to help. I mean, if they force Yol so often out of his jungle to come help on the top lane here, it might be slightly worth it, but on the other side, they kind of need that Gyrocopter to do well. Regardless of how many kills they get, etc., he needs to get that gold up. He needs to be able to do okay. OD is, of course, an important factor in this game as well, but as you said, Gyrocopter plays a big role in being able to fight early on, as we do have a smoke up coming to Scandal, PGG, as well as Eid, looking to fight.
They're gonna just go in the jungle and kill you all. This is an extraordinary wraparound coming up from them. They could probably get this kill. Charging up is already going for PGG. He'll throw it. Grave Chill can go, but, you know, there is going to be support coming through the Aphotic Shield already, and I think that was the wrong hero to go on. If they had won on Scandal, it's not nighttime. The wave was pushed out, I think, a little bit mid. Scandal was going back to the tier 2 tower. They do kill a Chen creep, which is something, but they also rotate Nubik out of lane, which gives more farm for, of course, the StarLadder. And like you mentioned, this is important for Nubik to get his farm going early on. And yes, you know, you can rely on the OD early, but you really want to get Nubik up and running so that you have a good mid-game to a late-game fighting potential. And right now, it's just not happening for him. Obviously, it can change very quickly, but, you know, so far, I think really RoX.KIS is, I think, winning the matchup, at least drawing even when they should be losing this top lane for the most part.
Yeah, what's Candle doing? Waiting for the rune, I guess. Let's
yeah,
see if
he's going to try
lucky.
to check.
Oh my god, he gets lucky and it turns nighttime? Maybe he's going to get forced to use it straight away? Never mind. Because in this middle lane right now, this Tuskar is doing quite okay. He's sitting on 21-6. I say that he's doing quite okay, but he's actually doing really well. Because 21-7 right now, up against Candle's 15-3, is a big difference. And in favor of the Tusk. I think there's going to be a lot of weight on his shoulders. I mean, he's not the kind of hero that with his level 6, with his punch, he's gonna go around and killing people straight away. Like, it's not a guaranteed kill. But he will have a big impact. It's kind of fun to see this, because of course we saw this yesterday, and he had an okay matchup in mid as well. Not as good as this one, I believe. But I'm kind of curious to see what kind of impact he can have in this game. If it's the same kind as he had versus Relax yesterday, as we do have Night Stalker. Actually, wow, oh wow, I just didn't notice that at all.
He knew exactly where he was. He was hiding in the trees down here, and Scandal just like, all right, well, you're dead. He just runs at him and voids him, and of course uses Crippling Fear and kills him rather easily. But you're right about Tuskar, because you remember yesterday, Tuskar was up against a Storm Spirit. That matchup is decisively worse than going up against a Night Stalker, because if you go up against a Night Stalker, you can actually roll at him and hit him. Against the Storm Spirit, that's not as likely. So this combo is actually going to be a lot better. And Tusk, you know, is somebody that's not going to make a huge impact, but something that can really provide a great initiation as well as fighting potential with that punch. It could change the course of an engagement, as well as the Frozen Sigil, which I mentioned yesterday. So he is getting good farm. He is the lead farmer in the game. He's doing a very nice job mid, but the ganking is coming out from Scandal already at nighttime. He is level 6. He's got 2 points in Hunter of the Night, which gives him that nice move speed and attack speed. And he'll head out of here. He'll head back mid, it looks like, to farm a little bit more and try to get back into it with, of course, some more experience at gold.
Yeah, and I think PGG was looking to make a gank happen as soon as Scandal came back, but he got scouted out by the Wild Wing. So can't make that happen. Nubik in the meantime, sitting on 22-7. I mean, considering that he's on the aggressive tri lane, he's not actually doing all that bad at all. He is actually ahead compared to BCZ. And I do feel that a StarLadder needs a good start. I mean, I'm going to assume that he wants to have a Blink Dagger as his core item, because that's, as said earlier as well, if you are having a full melee lineup, like, what's going to be your initiator this game if it's not nighttime? You need to have a Blink and Crush. That's your initiator. You can't count on the Elder Titan Astral Spirit, because that's going to be too delayed if you try to go for that stomp. The Earth Splitter is going to be easily dodgeable, so they need that Blink Dagger. And I think he went for Tread Still, but I think that's going to be his first big item, and it will take a while for him to get that, considering he's just, you know, not doing as well as he should be doing, considering he's on a safe lane.
Yeah, he really does need a Blink Dagger. You're absolutely right there, because if he doesn't get it, he'll probably, if he runs at people with Sprint, OD will just Astral him, and then that'll be the end of the engagement. They'll just back off, or they'll set up a fight for their own on the Radiant team. So, yeah, this is the problem with the melee-heavy lineups, is what is your initiation, and obviously, like you said, can't be Elder Titan Astral Spirit, because that'll take a long time for him to get it. For actually to get the stomp. Nighttime is, I mean, yeah, you can initiate with Scandal, with Void, but, like, you know, that only is reliable, you know, every couple of minutes or so, unless he uses Darkness, in which case you don't want to have to use that. But Nubik is amplified damage right now, as you can clearly see. He's going to sprint at him, and Grave Chill, yep, this is the issue. What do you, I mean, he does get a Photic, which is nice. He's actually getting, wow, he thought about diving for a second.
Yeah. That is right, that's possible. First of all, he had the amplified damage. AK is level 6. Nubik is still level 4. And there's a Visit level 3. So if he would have gotten the crush off, well, those people would have died, for sure. But running at people is the only thing he can do. And if he then gets slowed down by the Visage, who gets your speed, you're not going to be able to catch up with anybody, as we do have Night Stalker going for the Tusk. Tusk does not have the snowball. He's silenced for now. Now he can move again. He's actually maybe planning. Nah, he's not going to try and turn and burn this one. It's too crazy. As Alchemist was actually, if they continue diving that, PGG would have been there with the stun. And perhaps they could have made something happen. But for now, not the case. Elder Titan, Invisible Elder Titan rather, might be, well, he is level 8. First of all, he's on the suicide lane level 8. That's a pretty nice achievement right there compared to Tusk, who's also a level 8. He's actually slightly behind because he's actually at the start of level 8, while the Elder Titan is already past the start. And compared to the one that he was up against, of course, No Fear, he died once. He is still level 7. Never mind, he just turned level 8.
Oh man, and he does a lot of damage too. And you mentioned him being level 8, excuse me, and that's because they did get that kill like you mentioned. Also, Hart got extraordinarily lucky. Not necessarily lucky, but he just knew the timing. He got that rune, and then of course the Night Stalker was chasing after him. Had that still been night time, Night Stalker runs at him and kills him. He doesn't really care about the PGG being there. Hart probably dies before PGG is able to get that stun off anyways. Instead, Hart survives, able to bottle back up just because Night Stalker doesn't have that move speed. He's not able to void again. He's not able to grab the kill. So Hart does survive. A nice try for the gank. And Scandal will get back to farming right now. That was a pretty effective first night, you know, all things considered, because he did get that, of course, 1 kill, I believe. And that's all you need for your first night, because we talk about it, the changes in nighttime right now, it's not about the first night, it's about the second night and how effective you can be there. If he gets his phase up by that time, he's going to be very happy for himself. So we'll see how much he can do in the next coming minutes while it is daytime. But it looks like there is going to be a roaming gank on bottom for, of course, No Fear, who might be in some trouble here.
Yeah, there's no, you know, there's no slows or anything like that, so no initiation. They need the Void or the Crush, or maybe a Centaur or Chen Creep that can help out, but if you start running at people, you can't get them down. In the meantime, PGG might be in some trouble here. Gets amplified, BZZ running through the poison, actually runs into the Rocket Barrage, might be going down himself. A Soul Assumption is not there, there's no amount of the clarity. There it is! It's not enough though. BZZ will live, pop a salve, and he might actually come back. Scandal though, he rotated, he already gets the Alchemist kill, now also gets a Gyrocopter, double kill for him, looks for Eid, the Crush helps out, it might just be a triple kill. The pause, a bad and disconnected. I don't think it's gonna make that big of a difference though here on this top lane. Where is he? He's middle.
He's mid, yeah. This is a huge rotation coming up from Scandal, and this is Scandal just playing his type of game, and he's such a good player. He knows exactly when to come in, and this is exactly what you need to do on a Night Stalker, is be able to turn fights into your favor. He pops the Darkness, which some people don't even like going for that ability at level 6, 7, or 8. He does have it, and he has it at the best time possible, because in this tri-lane it could have gone so much worse for RoX.KIS. You saw how low BZZ was. He got back to pretty much full health already. You could see everybody backing off. Chen was being ganked. He's okay, you can clearly see that, but Eid is not. Eid is about to fall here. They already used the Slitherine. He does have Soul Assumption charges, but he probably won't be able to get it off by the time he dies. So that's going to be a 3-for-0 trade going for RoX.KIS, and with that, they're going to have a pretty nice gold and experience lead. As you can see, 3,000 experience lead already given to RoX.KIS. That's the bigger of the two, as gold is only about 1,500 to 2,000, which is nice, but still nothing to write home about. And RoX.KIS is playing their type of early game here. But then again, we talked about it, OD and Gyro do take a bit of time to get online, OD less so. Gyro will, of course, have that call down. The problem is he's not been getting levels, and that's because they're doing an aggressive tri-lane. An aggressive tri-lane that hasn't really worked. So that's the issue for the retry.
Yeah, if I were the retry right now, I mean, this is indeed a failed tri-lane, so it's time to have a different plan. And you can't really put anything mid, because apart from an aggressive tri-lane, there's... Oh, Tusk still got a baden as well mid, actually. I thought he might be able to get away there, or he was gonna let him go, but nope. But if like, who are you gonna place top? That's not gonna be anybody, so you're gonna leave top for a while alone, or at least you're gonna try and roam and gank. Because Tusk is, right now, he's got his face, he's got his drums, he's ready. Like, what more do you want on the Tusk before you start snowballing at people and kill them? So I'd say put the OD mid, put the Gyro bottom, and start fighting with that Tusk. Start giving your Gyrocopter more farm, more levels, more importantly, as you already mentioned, he is just behind on that one. Of course, the OD can't really help with fighting yet, but the Alchemist definitely can. Level 4 or not, his stun is very potent as well, of course, has his acid spray. And he can just snowball in and have the perfect initiation. Snowballing with the Tusk. VIII can be hanging around the background, just soul assumption people. I think that would be a good way to go. We do have the rotation of Heart coming in, going on to the bottom lane, but it looks like Seedoy is very careful here while the Tusk is missing from the map.
Once he knows that Tusk is missing, he's just going to sit back in the tower. And this is Tusk's time to fight, like you mentioned. The Night Stalker's already been doing that. He's being out-initiated by the Night Stalker. He's not really roamed around. He did want to finish up his drums before he did decide to fight, but now that he's got his items here, like you said, he should be all over the place. And they're going to go right on mid, on to go black, but he probably will... Oh, I don't know. This is a hefty die.
Well, punched. He's dead. That's going to be a nice kill, but the amplified damage comes out. BZZ has got a sprint, but he doesn't have his crush anymore, so he's not going to go for this. Actually gets slowed. Might be in some trouble, but there's no stun coming out from PGG. And that means no initiation. They need that stun to come out. By the way, Chen has completed his mechanism. He might not be level 6 yet. No Hand of God yet. Never mind. There is Hand of God, but there's also a mechanism. So the fighting potential of RoX.KIS just got increased quite a bit as well as No Fear tries to run away. Oh, it's dark. It's nighttime though. Scandal. He wants this kill. He's not going to die for it this time though. At least not without the creep wave. Especially not with an entire hate train coming in for him with PGG as well as Heart coming in to help out. And he saw those coming, of course, with the ward. As during the draft, you mentioned early Roshan time with an amplified damage. Well, 13 minutes in, they're going for it.
This is exactly what I was talking about with RoX.KIS's lineup. They have amplified damage. They break the spell shield with Miss Coil. They're going to spot this out with PGG, but they know he's coming. They're going to silence him up and just kill him. He's dead. And that's PGG was just like, what's going on in here? Yeah. Oh, I'm dead. And then he dies. So sadly for him, they can't contest this. Amplifies up too much. The Astra will do some damage and push everyone back, but an easy Roche coming out. And this is RoX.KIS's lineup. This is the shift in the metagame. Before, it was all about benefiting from farming at about 6.78. This is the shift. You see Vanguards now. You see heroes picking up early, or excuse me, you see teams picking up early game heroes like the Slaughter, like the Night Stalker, and getting early Roshans. And because of this, they really take the win. And they're going to find No Fear as well because of it.
Yep. Picked up an Invis rune. That's going to be another kill for Scandal's Night Stalker. He is 6-0-0. There are 7 kills on the board for RoX.KIS. 6 of those are by the hands of Scandal. The other one he wasn't even involved in. Who died that he wasn't involved in? Must have been on the top lane. As Skype problems for the retry. Hey, that sounds familiar. As they had that yesterday as well. But yeah, the retry needs something to get them back in the game. I'm not sure what it is. It has to be a big play from the Tusk. Because right now, Tusk, of course, was good mid, for sure. But he has not shown his value yet as being a Tusk. It could have been any other mid hero at this point. Dragon Knight would have been having the same kind of result, I feel.
I'm not going to say it's necessarily Tusk's fault. I feel like PGG and EAD have not done enough, and they're not getting the levels that they need. And the reason why is they decided to go an aggressive tri-lane. So that's really why. They're going to try to trade a tier 2 for a tier 1. They're actually doing a very quick job of this tier 2 tower, but there's going to be a TP back in, so they're not going to trade it necessarily. And here's Scanlan wants to fight.
PGG is not going to be able to throw out his stun. He will be stunning up himself, and he will go down. The rest leaving him to run, apart from Nubik. Throws out a cooldown, hoping to slow people down so that they can't chase anymore, which, well, they won't be able to do. So they lost the tier 1 tower bottom. They do get the tier 1 mid. Do some damage to the tier 2 middle as well, which is actually quite decent. Interesting to see them going for tier 2 middle while all the tier 1s are still standing on the other lanes. Oh, Nubik. You came to the wrong neighborhood. Nope, you came to the right one. They can't kill him without the sables. Nice.
And just like that, RoX.KIS again. That's a nice play from Scandal. Scandal, I think, has probably played the best out of RoX.KIS this entire game. He's been all over the place. They're now just going to start pushing down towers, and I don't know what they can do on the retry side to fight. They're going to pop the unstable and throw it and do nothing. So if you can't really do anything with your unstable to lead off in your acid spray, there's a good chance you're in trouble. Well, there you go.
My PC just decided to be completely wacko as we have OD dying. Scandal doing his thing. That was a bit awkward. I think it was my PC. Might have been the game, but anyways, it wasn't. At least it wasn't the interwebs. It was always scary.
That'd have been a problem. Yeah, that's the worst.
Yeah, well, the RoX.KIS don't look like they want to back off. They still have the Hand of God up. Mechanism will be up again in 8 seconds, so why would they back up? It's nighttime. It's their element. And I think they can definitely force out a fight here and even still win, even though Gyrocopter has got level 8, has got the rocket barrage up, has got everything up, the cooldown, everything that you'd want to be up. They're gonna go for this. PGG already silenced up, not charging up a stun. It doesn't even have mana to throw out the stun anyways. There's no way the Retry can actually go in on this. They're just boxed in.
Yeah, with what RoX.KIS has now, with the Vanguard up, with the Aphotic Shield, the Mech, the Hand of God, there's pretty much no way they can fight, even with an Astral into a Sandy's Eclipse. They need level 2 Sandy's Eclipse, and he needs more items as well. You can see he doesn't even have his Force Staff yet, so the intelligence difference isn't even there. So for now, RoX.KIS will just take any tower they really want. When it comes to high ground, that's when they're going to try to defend for the retry, but with an Aegis, with a Blink now even up on Slaughter, and I'm not sure what Tusk is doing here. What the heck are you thinking, man? What?
Yeah, he was. I mean, that was the most obvious rotation that you could have thought of. There's only one tier 1 tower left standing. I wonder which tower RoX.KIS is going to go for.
Like, seriously, like, come on, man. I don't know what you're doing there. Like, you know they just came from mid. You know they want towers. It must debate for them to take mid. They're going to try to take the tier 2 mid. And by try to take it, they're going to try to backdoor it. I don't know why.
No, they don't have to backdoor it, but in comes BZZ with the Blink, with the Crush, goes for Nubik first. Astral Imprisonment will keep him safe. PGG cannot throw out stuns. Oh, just in time. Scandal still manages to silence him. BZZ is out of mana. Still looking to catch up to some people, though, at least maybe to punish Nubik, but someone else punished him before him. Eid will not be able to run away from Scandal. Godlike Scandal right now. Sanity's Eclipse, as you mentioned, doesn't really do that much. So that's No Fear dropped as well here in this mid lane. 2 heroes left alive. It is Heart and PGG. They'll try to push the bottom lane out, but that's about all they can do.
Yep. I guess you got to give props to the Retry for trying to take a fight, or I don't know what that was, but trying to do something. But it just, I guess they realized that anything they try to do is futile at this point. They can still get back into it with good farm on Nubik, but it looks like they've abandoned that idea, considering he's only got 80 last hits right now, which isn't too bad, but he's not very close to his next item. I mean, his BKB is being built, but he's only got his Mithril Hammer, so Nubik is not going to be very effective in the next couple of minutes, and I don't see any way he'll be able to get farm enough to get there, assuming that RoX.KIS decides to do the smart thing and just push down towers, which it looks like they're doing for the tier 2 down bottom. The Aegis is still up and available. I believe it should be on the Slaughter last I checked. Yes, it is. So
they're looking for a kill here on the top lane, though, for Seedoy. The call down, the Rocket Barrage, but in comes a stomp. Seedoy alive for now. Earth Splitter coming through, and he's actually thinking about going in on this. He will still get dropped, because Tusk came in to try and help out there. But that was pretty close to being very scary. By the way, what do you think Tusk is going to go for? He picked himself up a Belt of Strength.
Well, I'd say 99% of the time, I would say Necrobook, but, you know, you could always go for that Basher, I believe, and I don't think either are bad choices. I think it's a Necrobook more than likely, just to try to get out of the lane and to push. That makes the most sense. Fight's happening, though.
Yeah, No Fear gonna get dropped. The punch still comes out, though. BZT gets healed up by the Hand of God. Astral Imprisonment will keep No Fear up for now. Goblak still chasing him, though, and with the Urn Charge, it will go down. There goes Nubik. Amplified damage gets picked up by Night Stalker. It's still nighttime. It's darkness, actually, and they're looking for more familiar stuns, doing a great job at delaying their go, though. Oh, PGG just made it easier for them. He just jumped himself in and ended up stunning himself and going down in the process. Doing quite a bit of damage to Goblak, but it doesn't really matter. I'm not sure why he decided to turn around. Perhaps because he was already charging up a stun. Oh, that's going to be a snowball. Heart, you cannot think about doing that. That's just not possible. And there's only one hero left alive. Eid, everybody, one by one, decided not to run back home, but to maybe turn around. Maybe something would happen. Maybe they could get something done. No, they can't. They died. Team wipe. RoX.KIS. It's 18-4. I think, you know, they don't have an Aegis anymore. Maybe they want to wait for the next one, but I feel like they have enough power to go high ground soon.
They really do. I mean, after that fight, there's nothing that I think Retry can do. They tried their best to get back into this with that fight top, and it just didn't go their way. All while that's happening, Yol and Seedoy were pushing down bottom themselves, and they took the tier 2. The tier 3 took a bit of damage as well. Also, like, every team I've ever seen in StarLadder just dives past tier 3 towers, and I gotta say I love it. I love watching that. That's the best thing I've ever seen. So props to RoX.KIS for really going for the team wipe and getting it done too. And they have the team to dive as well. You look how they have the equipment on the slaughter now, so tower damage isn't really a problem. His armor is gonna just help him out there. I mean, like, Scandal's inherently tanky, and he also has a point booster now, just for, you know, good old Aghanims, but down bottom's a fight happening, apparently.
Yeah, PGG gets to run away from that one. Nice cooldown, but the 4 staffs away. In comes a snowball. Heart, Eid, and PGG stuck in that, but they can't find anybody. Now the sun is being charged up again by PGG. He will find Scandal, but he is turned on his BKB, meaning PGG will stun up Goblak instead. In comes a blink from BCT. He crushes up 3 heroes, still manages to get punched, but gets 4 staffed into safety. Nobody actually dying just yet, but it is the retry that tries to run back to base. I don't think it's going to be so lucky for Eid though. He'll get picked up by the Elder Titan. The rest is going for wraparound gate, but Scandal is already waiting there. It is No Fear that still died. The snowball comes in. Seedoy not gonna get punched. It is gonna be the Tusk that drops as well. Gyrocopter and Eid, last 2 alive, both trying to make it back to base. Well, as for Nubek, he just tries to farm a bit more because he really runs his BKB, which is still 800 gold away.
Yeah, that's not happening. He's trying to push out mid lane. He's actually really low, and if he keeps staying there, he's gonna lose tier 3 and the Citarax, and probably the game. At this point, you look at the gold graph, it's probably, yeah, 50,000 sounds about right, as well as 15,000 experience leads, so that's disgusting, and they keep getting kills left, right, and center, as you can clearly see.
This Blink Dagger on BCC is definitely doing work. Just jumping up on PG before he can do anything with his stun being charged up. This will be the Rex down. In the meantime, Seedoy really has a hatred for familiars. He's actually ready to suicide for that one familiar right there. And the familiar lives, Seedoy doesn't, but it is the GG called. It will be RoX.KIS to take this one to victory, and we will see them again in our next game, where they will fight up against the Alliance. Let's see if they can be as convincing in that game as well, as I'm sure that, well, I think we're going to see a whole different caliber of game. And I doubt we're going to see it.
We should see a different caliber of game. I mean, you know, the retry played well yesterday, but they came up a little bit short in one of their games, and obviously this game they came up very short with only 5 kills on the board in 23 minutes. That you've got to be able to, like, talk about what you did wrong there and really just try to fix it, because that's not what you want to do at all. With the RoX.KIS team, though, they did a nice job of having an early game fighting team, and they really worked well with it. So we'll see if they can continue on with that trend.
It seems like, oh, there we go, everybody disconnects. I was gonna say, someone pressed cancel after the GG was called, because it takes a long time before the throne to explode. But yeah, I think you're right. The retry, they have to start reconsidering their strategy. So hopefully next game that we'll see of them will be well, where they are back in on top. But for now, the game today, so they have the rest of the day to think about that. We are gonna see RoX.KIS again, like said, against Alliance. The next game is officially starting in 20 minutes. Might start a bit earlier, but there's a big chance that we're just gonna have a 20-minute break. So stay tuned. You know, eat some food, drink some drinks, fluids, and be back soon.